I've been getting a lot of questions about how the ferries work in the Amalfi Coast, so I thought I would just hop on and talk to you guys about it. So when we went on our trip last year, we actually flew into Rome, took the train into Naples. We stayed in Naples one night because we just wanted to kind of see what it was about. And the hotel that we chose was actually right by the ferry port because we wanted to be able to walk to it the next day. So let me know if you guys want the link for that. From Naples, we took the ferry to Sorrento, and I believe it was like a 40-ish minute ride, so not really that long at all. We also both traveled with medium-sized suitcases, and I believe it was like a couple euros extra as an upcharge, and there was a separate area on the ferry for luggage, at least on the ferry that we went on. I've gotten a couple questions on like luggage and size requirements, and I believe that it varies by the company of the ferry, so this is what I would recommend doing. So we used Ferry Hopper to plan out the ferry part of our transportation because I wanted to be able to compare options, so let me know if you want the link for that. Once you find the ferry that you want to take, it should show the company, and then I would Google that separately to see what their luggage restrictions are. So I don't know if that's like super helpful, but that's what I recommend doing. Another question I got is, should you book your ferry tickets in advance? And my answer to that is yes. You should always try to book your transportation in advance if you can, just so you don't have to worry about it. If you are traveling during peak season, you should especially be booking in advance. We traveled in October, so it was technically going into like off season, and the ferries weren't very crowded, but it still gives you like peace of mind knowing that you have your transportation lined up. Another question I got is how long are the ferry rides, and that obviously depends on your destination, but it can range anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour and a half. When you go on Ferry Hopper, it will show you what the duration is of each ferry. And then I just really want to quickly tell you what some of the pros and cons are to taking the ferry based on my personal experience. Pros: the ferry is quicker and obviously more cost effective than private transportation. And in general, I thought that it was just very clean and comfortable and relatively safe as well, which is really all you can hope for with public transportation. Cons: if the weather isn't favorable, there is a chance that your ferry could get canceled, and we unfortunately ran into this situation a couple of times on our trip last year. And I don't know if it had anything to do with us traveling in October and it going into off season, but I remember one day it was like beautifully sunny outside, but it was windy and choppy, and so the ferry was canceled. We did find out that there are certain ferries and ports that are built to withstand harsher weather conditions. So for example, we were supposed to be taking the ferry from Amalfi to Capri, and it ended up getting canceled because it was super choppy and windy that day. And we found out that the port in Amalfi cannot handle that kind of condition, I guess. And so we ended up having to take the bus to Sorrento and then taking the ferry from Sorrento to Capri because the port in Sorrento is built to withstand those conditions, if that makes sense. That was just our experience though, so just do what you want with that information. I just wanted to be honest with you guys. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Bye.